Hello out there. This is your one and only radio host, Stan, still breathing, still transmitting, still clutching this fragile thread of hope beneath the bones of the earth. If you're hearing this, God's help you. You're still alive. And tonight, that means everything. It's day 71 since the outbreak. 71 days since the world rotted away before our eyes, since the cities burned and the sirens choked into silence. 71 days since neighbors became hunters and hunters became prey. And right now, above my head, a thunderstorm is tearing through the world that's left. Lightning forks across the sky. The bunker shakes with every growl. Maybe it's a warning. Maybe it's just the sky raging because we're still here. Either way, I'm still talking and you're still listening. Stay tuned. Stay alive. Okay, dear listeners, this is the hardest story to tell because it nearly killed me. You see, about 3 weeks after I locked myself down here, I thought I had everything under control. The hatch was sealed. My food was rationed, water filters running, solar panels humming. I thought I was safe. I was wrong. It started around midnight. I was half asleep, one eye open, the radio hissing a dull nothing on all channels. Then I heard it, a soft scratching at the ventilation shaft, like fingernails. At first, I thought maybe it was a rat. Hell, I would have welcomed a rat, but the scratching grew more deliberate, slow, steady, like someone trying to pick a lock. I turned off every light, held my breath, listened. Then I heard it, a voice, my own voice, coming from the vent. Open up, it's safe. You can come out. They'd been listening, learning me, my name, my phrasing, the way I talk on this mic. They'd used it all against me. That was the moment I realized the infected had evolved past brute force. They were hunting. I didn't move, didn't speak. I waited in the dark with my machete drawn, heart hammering so loud I was sure they'd hear it through the walls. Then the scratching turned to pounding, metal on metal, like something slamming a crowbar against the vent slats. They were trying to break in. I ran to the tools locker, an old fire axe from the generator station, and braced it against the vent hatch. They kept hammering. The grate bent inward, metal screaming in protest. I could see their fingers through the slots, gray and rotting, nails split to the bone. Reaching. And then I heard them laugh. Not a human laugh. Not a warm, belly-deep laugh. A high-pitched, stuttering mimicry, like a tape played backward. It was my laugh. They were using my own voice to torment me. In that moment, something inside me snapped. I wasn't going to die cowering. I threw the lights back on, fired up every bulb I had, grabbed the axe, and slammed it straight through the vent grate. One of their hands came off, rotten flesh spraying the wall. It screamed, in a dozen stolen voices. But it kept reaching with the other hand. I hacked again, and again, until the vent was clogged with twitching meat, until nothing moved. That was the night I learned. They will test you, probe for weakness, wait for you to drop your guard. Never give them that chance. Not for a heartbeat. After I cleaned the mess, I reinforced the vents with welded steel bars I salvaged from an old fence. Took me 3 days. 3 days without sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard my own voice whispering from the darkness. It hasn't happened again since, but I know they're still out there, listening, learning. I I'm telling you this because you might have a bunker of your own someday, or a safe house, or a panic room. Don't trust it blindly. Don't think brick walls make you invincible. They will find you if you let them. Check your ventilation. Check your chimney. Check your drains. They will exploit anything. Okay, that was the worst breach I've faced so far. But I'm still here, still alive, and I learned from it. Over the next weeks, I started mapping them, their sounds, their movements, their habits. You see, these hollows, they talk to each other after a fashion, not in sentences, but grunts, clicks, short whistles, like bats. I think they echolocate. That's why they get more dangerous at night. Darkness is their domain. I tried to record them once. Set up a directional mic near the hatch, ran the wire up through a cracked PVC pipe, captured hours of their sounds. Here, let me read a bit of my transcript. Series of clicks repeated every 2 to 3 seconds, followed by growl, then silence. Second subject repeats clicks at same tempo, then group moves together toward structure. They were coordinating. That's why if you see a lone hollow making clicking sounds, you need to get out. It's not random, it's a signal. I know some of you still think of them as mindless. I wish they were. God, I wish they were. But they're not. That's why I keep studying them. Every night, every single night, I monitor their patterns, log their calls, track their footprints in the dirt above the hatch, because knowledge is survival. Memorize this, dear listener. At night, they double in aggression. Rain makes them restless, unpredictable. Thunder agitates them, almost as if it overloads their senses. Bright lights confuse them, but only briefly. Every weakness counts. There's more. During my studies, I noticed a group, 5, maybe 6, with strange scars on their heads, like surgical scars. Military experiments, maybe, or something worse. They moved differently, faster, cleaner, no random spasms, no stumbles. Like they've been trained. If you see them, avoid them at all costs. They are not normal infected. They are something else. I've heard them called revenants on military chatter. Revenants. Half human, half monster, all killer. If they get inside your shelter, you will not survive. Okay, that's enough nightmare fuel for one moment. I'd kill for a boring old nightmare, wouldn't you? All right, dear listeners, take a sip of water, take a breath. Check your locks, check your weapons, remind yourself, you are still alive. In the next segment, I want to talk about hope. Yeah, hope. And why we still fight. About the things worth living for. The faces, the memories, the tiny sparks that keep us human. Because you need those. Because I need those. Stay with me. The world is still terrible, but we do not have to be. This is the voice beneath the earth. Still here. Still standing. And I will keep talking. Okay, dear listeners, you've stuck with me this long. Through the horror, through the blood, through the sounds of a world eating itself alive, let's talk about why we keep going, about hope. If I'm being honest, I nearly forgot what hope felt like in those first weeks. Food running out, the vent breach, The cold truth that no rescue team was ever coming. You need something, someone, to anchor you. A reason beyond yourself. It could be your kid's face. It could be your dog waiting at the foot of the bed. It could be the way fresh rain smells on a summer morning. It could be a song you used to love. Even before the outbreak, I'd spend hours messing with my shortwave receiver, talking to people halfway across the globe, piecing together a patchwork chorus of strangers. And here I am, broadcasting to you, still a radio nerd. Maybe that's my purpose after all. I just talk. To no one. Let's talk about maintenance, listeners. I spent the morning reinforcing defenses again, double-checking my barricades, adding extra bolts to the hatch, and inspecting my ventilation covers for weak points. I found some corrosion rust eating away silently in the corner of the main hatch. Even in safety, the world finds ways to creep inside. I patched it with scrap metal and epoxy from my supply kit. Maintenance isn't glamorous, but it's survival. Neglect kills as quickly as the infected. Here's something useful I've pieced together recently. Hollows avoid certain landmarks. Large metal structures, bridges, towers, transmission pylons, they seem wary of those. They flock toward old community centers, stores, and schools. Any place once full of human life is now their nesting ground. Also, I've intercepted something troubling, a broadcast. It came from the east, somewhere in the valley. It wasn't coded. It was human. It was pleading.
Please, they came last night. People, not infected. They took our supplies, killed half our group. They're coming back. Please, if anyone hears this, stay away from Miller's Crossing. It's not safe.
Human raiders. The disciples of the Hollow, maybe. Or something equally dangerous. People preying on people. Somehow that feels worse than monsters. You'd think humanity would band together, but fear changes us. Sometimes it makes us stronger. But sometimes it makes us something far worse than the infected themselves. My advice to anyone listening who's also bunkered down, don't rush out there. Stay quiet, stay hidden, stay smart. Every extra day you stay alive means one more chance to learn, to prepare, to grow stronger. This is the voice beneath the earth. 71 days and counting. Still here, still patient, still alive. Good evening, dear listeners. Day 72 beneath the earth. I'm still here, still safe, and still listening. I want to start today's broadcast with something I picked up overnight. It's a hard message, one that kept me awake, staring at the ceiling, heart pounding in the dark. This came from just east of Miller's Crossing, about 20 miles from here.
This is Ethan from Miller's Crossing. If anyone can hear me, do not approach our settlement. They've come back. The raiders. They took everything. Our food, our water, medicine. They took people. We have nothing left. They burned our shelters. We're hiding now in the old school basement. But they'll find us again soon. Please, anyone out there, do not come here. There's nothing left. Save yourselves.
I've never met Ethan. I don't know his face, don't know his story, but his voice was full of pain I felt in my bones. He sounded young, too young for the horrors he's seen. And now silence. Miller's Crossing is gone. Whatever faint hope was left there has been snuffed out by something worse than monsters. Humans who chose cruelty over compassion. I hate to admit it, But these raiders frighten me more than the infected. The infected are predictable. They hunger, they hunt. But humans? Humans can choose to destroy or to save, and some have chosen to become even darker than the plague itself. The broadcast mentioned they took people. I've heard rumors of groups out there, raiders, cultists, staking survivors as slaves or worse, trading human lives for supplies, or using them as bait to distract the infected. It's sickening. And there's something else. I picked up a transmission, faint and badly distorted, but clearly military in origin. One of the offshore bases, maybe still intact somehow. I spent 2 hours decoding just a snippet. Here's what I got.
Confirmed mutation variant, active infected. Cognitive capacity increasing rapidly. New behaviors noted. Field operatives report infected coordinating complex hunts. Proceed with extreme caution.
That confirms what I've feared all along. The infected are evolving not randomly, but with terrifying purpose. They're becoming smarter, deadlier. Now we face two enemies. The infected growing more cunning by the day, and humans who've lost their humanity entirely. But I won't panic, and neither should you. If you're listening, if you're surviving, take these warnings to heart. Stay hidden. Watch for raiders marked in black and red. Avoid areas recently attacked or burned out. They may still lurk there, waiting to ambush survivors. Trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it probably is. This world is more dangerous than ever, but it's not hopeless. Remember, there are still good people out there. Ethan risked everything to warn others. Acts like that matter. They remind us we're still human. They remind us why we're still fighting. I'll share every detail with you, every piece of intel, every whisper in the static. Because we survive better when we share knowledge. And remember, you're not alone. Not as long as this signal reaches you. Even down here, hidden from the sky, I'm here. And you're there. And as long as our voices carry across this dark, empty world, we remain connected. Before I go today, let me share one more thing. Though the night is dark and full of fear, and monsters seem forever near, within our hearts, a spark will glow, and from our courage, hope will grow. Hold a light and hold a love. In time we rise in strength above. This is the voice beneath the earth. Day 72. Still listening. Still learning. Still hoping. I'll speak to you again soon. Good night. This is the voice beneath the earth. Day 73. Still here. I had a moment earlier, maybe you've had one too. I just stared at the wall. No thoughts, no fear, no plans. Just the texture of concrete and the buzz of old light bulbs. It's like time folds in on itself down here. Each day feels like the last. No sunrise, no moonlight. Just recycled air and memory. The only thing that told me today was different was the signal. At 4:12 this morning, a transmission broke through the noise. This was older, colder, military grade. I traced the echo through a damaged frequency band, 1.630 megahertz, bouncing off a satellite or maybe just bleeding from a forgotten repeater in the mountains. It looped over and over for hours.
Field Lab Delta 7. Code black. Containment failed. Personnel down. Quarantine breached. Do not approach. Repeat. Do not approach. Specimen override initiated. Environmental systems offline. Structural collapse imminent. Delta 7 offline.
I've never heard anything like it. They didn't just lose control. They were overridden. Here's what chills me. That lab was broadcasting after it fell. Something, either automated or not, kept the warning alive. Now ask yourself, why? Who or what wants to keep people away so badly that it maintains a repeating distress loop 3 months after the outbreak? I'll tell you a sound I heard last night. 3:17, right outside the bunker's external ventilation shaft. A voice, a child's voice, crying. I knew it wasn't real. No child would be alive this far out. Not without family. Not in this zone. But the cadence, the pitch, it was close, too close. It mimicked grief. But there was no soul in it, just repetition. Like a parrot taught to cry. Or a wolf pretending to be a lamb. We don't talk enough about the loneliness. About what it does to the mind. It turns memories into ghosts, ghosts into company, company into hallucination. But this voice, this broadcast, it grounds me. And maybe it grounds you too. I want to read you something. Found it in an old journal, scavenged from a bookstore weeks before I found this bunker. Author unknown. Scribbled into the back of a field guide. Here it is. You are not alone. Even when the earth forgets your footsteps, the sky still remembers your breath. Speak, even into silence. Something always hears. That's why I keep broadcasting. Even if I'm screaming into the void, I want the void to know I was here, that I saw, that I fought, that I refused to become less than human. So here's what I ask of you tonight, wherever you are. If you're bunkered like me, don't give up. If you're traveling, keep your head low and your ears sharper than ever. If you've lost someone, talk to them. Out loud, in the dark. In the morning. Whenever, speak their name. Anchor them to your reality. It helps, even if they're gone. Tomorrow, I'll analyze the repeaters more closely. Try to decode the strange signal hiding behind the Delta 7 transmission. It's almost like there's a secondary message beneath the main loop. If I find anything, I'll share it. If not, well, I'll keep trying. That's what we do. This has been your voice beneath the earth. Day 73. Still watching. Still waiting. Still listening. Keep breathing. Keep sharpening your mind like your blade. And above all, keep talking, even if no one answers. Something always hears. Day 74. Still underground. Still breathing. Still not alone. I spent most of today in total silence. No broadcasts. No noise. I needed to listen, really listen, to something that's been hiding in plain sight. Remember that automated loop from Field Lab Delta 7 I intercepted 2 days ago? Containment failed. Do not approach. It kept playing on loop like a record stuck on terror. But something felt off. I ran the recording through the old signal modulation toolkit in my workstation, broke it into layers, cleaned up the distortion, slowed down the last 6 seconds, and found a second message, hidden beneath the loop, whispered, almost buried. Here's what it says.
Project memory, self-awareness. Coming inside.
I don't know who embedded that message, or how they got it past the automated system. Maybe a dying tech. Maybe a scientist trying to leave a last warning. But memory bleed? Host awareness? It suggests something chilling. Not just viral mutation. Not just physical coordination. Cognitive contamination. We already knew the infected mimic sounds, some copy screens, some repeat names. But what if that mimicry isn't just muscle memory? What if it's memory? What if the virus stores the host's last thoughts, fragments of identity, and then plays them back? I used to believe the infected were mindless. Now I'm not so sure. What if we're not killing hollowed-out corpses, but something worse? Something aware of what it lost? That message from Delta 7 wasn't a warning. It was a confession. Now here's where things get complicated. At 22:40 hours, less than 2 hours ago, I intercepted something new. Not automated, not military. A rogue signal, raw, real, human.
To any surviving station, this is Yara Red, formerly of Colony Echo 5-1. I escaped 3 days ago. If you're hearing this, do not trust the broadcasts. They're lying. It's not a refuge. It's a control site. They call it a colony, but it's a test chamber. Everyone inside is being monitored, watched, tracked. The food, the water, it's laced. There's something in it, Maynite compounds maybe, something that suppresses thought. Memories fade. People forget who they were. Names vanish. Whole chunks of life gone. Some begin repeating words they never said. Words that feel programmed. Familiar but wrong. I only got out because I stopped eating. Hid my pills. Played dumb. Until the night the outer wall glitched and I ran. I've been living in sewers, rainwater and rats. I don't care anymore. Just don't go there. Don't believe their signal.
She sounded terrified, and I believed her. Another Delta 7. Only this time, the test subjects don't know they're infected. I don't know if I believe all of it. Not yet, but I believe she escaped. And I believe the fear in her voice wasn't faked. And I know the military has done darker things in secret labs than anyone cares to remember. We wanted a cure. They wanted a weapon. And now we all pay the price. I still want to believe there's a place out there where people live, not just survive. But hope without verification is suicide. To Yara, if you're listening, thank you. To everyone else, do not blindly follow any signal. Do not assume survivors are automatically all eyes, and do not forget who you were. If you start forgetting your name, your parents, your memories, fight it. Write them down. Speak them aloud. Etch them into stone if you have to. This world will erase you if you let it. I am the voice beneath the earth. Day 74. Still here. Still listening. Still remembering. Good night, travelers. Sleep with one eye open. And question every signal. Day 76, still in the bunker, still intact, still fully myself, or at least I think so. Today, I intercepted a signal that shook me. It was faint, looped, distorted like tape warped in fire. It came from a low-power antenna in Grid 11B. That's an abandoned civilian shelter, long thought to be overrun during the second wave. No known survivors. The broadcast loop was 34 seconds long. A woman's voice.
I'm still here, if anyone's out there. I'm in the shelter. Hey, it's safe. They're gone. I boiled the water. I made soup. There's blankets. It's warm. You can rest now.
The problem? That voice belongs to Ellie Cord, a known aid worker, and one of the earliest civilian casualties confirmed in that sector. I remember her story. She was interviewed on a UN livestream 2 days before the grid went dark. She died on day 10. There's no way she's still alive. And yet, her voice still plays. So how? Here's the theory. And it scares me more than anything so far. What if one of the infected is the one transmitting it? What if that infected individual, once Ellie, retained fragments of her memory, enough to repeat the phrases she said while alive? What if she, or what's left of her, remembers comforting people? And now those memories are being broadcast, unintentionally, through muscle memory or triggered recordings from old systems she touched before dying. This isn't supernatural. This is neural residue. Chemical trauma, muscle memory. Think of it like a broken piano that still plays a song when the wind hits the right key. It's not conscious. It's not malicious. But it's dangerous all the same. Imagine you're alone, starving, hurt. You hear that voice. You want to believe it. You crawl toward that shelter. You enter. And there's no Ellie. Just a hollow in a corner. Whispering comfort it doesn't understand. Before it tears your throat out. I spent the next 6 hours tracking similar signals. I found 2 more. One from a firefighter named Marco, repeating, "This way, I'll carry you," over and over. Another from an old school shelter, a woman singing, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star." Each one tied to known deceased individuals. Each one attached to a now infected zone. This is no longer about infection alone. It's about weaponized memory. The virus isn't learning how to speak. It's learning how to lure. Not through mimicry of words, but mimicry of who we used to be. So, how do we fight that? We remember better. We remember clearly, and we verify everything. From now on, if you hear a voice claiming to be someone you know, or offering safety, don't trust it until you confirm identity. Use passphrases, personal codes, questions only they'd know. It's not about paranoia. It's about staying alive. Before I go, one final thought. Don't fear every voice. But don't follow every voice either. The infected may remember the things we said in love, in comfort, in safety. But that doesn't mean they are those people. They're echoes. Echoes of the people we used to be. And not all echoes lead home. This is the voice beneath the earth. Still human. Still physical. Still alive. Good night, travelers. Ask the right questions. Trust the right memories. And always, always carry your blade.